This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. You're doing your thing at the Leon County Civic Center, January 8th. The first 1,000 kids under 10 were sold tickets for $225 instead of the regular $525 price. And those kids would see Ron Garvin take on Ric Flair and Lex Luger take on Arn Anderson. You also draw Lex in Lakeland, Florida on January 9th. That same day, there was a show canceled in Newton, North Carolina because of snow, which is kind of interesting. Thankfully, you're down in Florida. Be doing another TV taping on the 10th back in Charlotte. This time we would see you and Tully team up to take on Larry Stevens and Greg Ligon. Around the 5-minute mark, Tully is going to pin Stevens with the old slingshot suplex. And after the commercial break, Bob Caudle does an interview with you, Tully, and JJ. And Blanchard says they were met at the airport last week in Tallahassee by a local legislator who was also there to meet presidential candidate Jesse Jackson to show what level the Horsemen were on. So I don't know what this is about, but sometimes whenever you hear a little nugget like this, you wonder, hey, what's the rest of that story? Do you have any recollection of meeting some sort of dignitary or what have you?
Where was this?
Tallahassee, Florida.
I don't. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Just
right.
One of those things. Well, he's a politician. Congratulations. Do something good for the country. And
see you later.
I'm going to warm up.
Exactly. Sting's warming up because he's going to beat the Gladiator by submission with the Scorpion Deathlock after the Stinger Splash. It only takes him 19 seconds to do so. And then afterwards, Jim Ross does an in-ring interview with Sting, and he's challenging the Nature Boy. He wants a shot at the NWA World Title. We're also going to see Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin win an enhancement match, and then they're going to challenge you and Tully to defend your tag titles. The dark matches that day included Lex Luger and Arn Anderson, Ric Flair and Michael Hayes, this time inside of a steel cage. The beat goes on. January 10th, you're working with Lex in front of 2,300 fans in Columbus, Georgia. The next day on the 11th, you're working on top. You go on very last, you and Lex. As you go back through these matches and you see you're working with Lex day in, day out, are you trying to put together different matches every time? Or is it essentially you're trying to get your match perfect? Meaning, is it pretty much the same? Or are you trying to say, all right, we're going to do this one a little different? I've heard stories like JR would say, once upon a time, he heard Jack Briscoe talking to Harley Race, and they said something like, hey, should we do Minnesota or Chicago tonight? Because they knew what they had done in those places. And here's sort of our routine for that day. With a guy who's relatively green like Lex Luger, and you know you're getting him ready for Rick, is there a different strategy you deploy when you're wrestling him day in, day out to try to say, all right, y'all might do this, or here's what might work for you? Or is it, hey, let's do the same thing over and over until we have it perfect? Because it's different fans every town, right?
Yep. And they like different things. They received different things different ways. I always tried to change it up, because if he's not having to remember anything, if he's just reacting to what I'm doing to him, it's a whole lot easier. So much easier. So, I would try to add just small things that would enhance him and let him see, hey, slow down here. If I came screaming off the ropes and went for what the audience would think was going to be mow Luger down with the tackle, but I ran into him and I took the bump. You got to let something like that breathe, because It's not what they were expecting. They went, whoa, I thought that was going to go the other way. And if he would just leave me alone and let me get away and sell that and act like I had ran into a brick wall, which is exactly what happened, then he learned something that day. Don't pursue to the next thing until you've got the mileage out of what you just did. That was the learning process we were trying to get across to Lex. He had the look, he had the vehicle, he had the push, he had everything going for him. Now he just had to learn how to work, which is one of the most important things you need to master in this industry. Can't stress that enough.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money, it's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.